Hi everyone, I'm Daniel, and today we'll be unboxing the new small campaign expansion for Arkham Horror the card game, Children of Blood. Now, in order to play this new 3-scenario campaign, you will need a copy of the new core set that came out earlier this year. Now in this video, I'll be taking a look at the campaign guide a little bit, just looking at the components in here, but not a whole lot of spoilers beyond that. So in order to flesh this video out a little bit more, I will be playing later on today this Carolyn Fern deck, and I'll walk you through what's in it. I'll be part of a 3-player group, a Marie Lambeau, as well as a Daniela Reyes. So let's get on with the unboxing. Okay, let's first check out the box size difference between the core set and the new small campaign expansion. They're actually kind of not similar at all. I was hoping that it'd be about half the size, but as you can see, it's not quite like that. And even the depth of it is different. Clearly, I mean this way, but even if you compare it this direction, the size of the boxes are just different. Even this one that doesn't close that well, it's just a bit different. On the shelf, I think it's still kind of okay. Also, I really like the box here having this book-like side to it. We'll see more of that, I think, when I open up the sleeve. But yeah, it's a little odd, I think, that they're kind of different, especially since we have even a different size for the original campaign expansions from back when. Okay, so here is the box itself. Very cool art. I do like this box. It does say it's 45 minutes per player, which I think is about right. It tends to go a little bit longer the more players you have in not quite a linear way, but I do think that he plays solo. And you know what you're doing, 45 minutes is about right for a single scenario. And the back here, we'll take a look inside, of course, but importantly, it tells us that there are 178 scenario cards, which is a lot for the 3 scenarios that we have. Paid $45 for this, which is compared to the side scenarios, the standalone scenarios, we're getting another one kind of soon also, a pretty good deal since those run about $20-$25, but compared to the core, which gave us, well, actually fewer scenario cards. We take a look at this here, 133 scenario cards, a lot of player cards though, and this one cost list price $69.99. So for 3 scenarios also in that core, plus all the other tokens and everything else that comes with it, I get it. I think sort of the problem with packaging a smaller number of scenarios is there's always a minimum cost for the packaging, and the more stuff is in it, I think the cheaper that it gets, even though primarily it's going to be the number of cards in the box. And there's a lot of cards here for 3 scenarios. We'll talk about that, I think, in a future video. I know that they've said that the difficulty of the campaign, the chosen difficulty, is going to affect which cards are being put in, locations, enemies, etc. Okay, here's what it looks like just like this. Cool. Again, get that book theme going here. Gotta open up this part now. Nice little spiral bound campaign guide here. It's small. It's cute. Again, quite a different size to what we've been used to before. In fact, the campaign guide, I assume, is in here too. It's small. It's small. But, you know, we do appreciate the spiral bound nature instead of the original stuff that was just these leaflets that were horrible. You know, it actually doesn't need to be that big, honestly. This looks pretty good to me. Okay, we'll take a look at this as well, but for now, let's see what else is in the box. We've got the blood tokens. Looks like there are 12. A lot has been said about the addition of these tokens and the fact that GameGenic, which is part of the parent company anyways of FFG, didn't make any corresponding acrylic tokens. Personally, I don't really see the value in the aftermarket tokens or anything else like that. I know they sell them, which is the part that's irksome, but the reality is I have the coin capsules and they are great. You don't need other stuff. These are replaceable too if they get junked up or something. You can get another chaos bag. I don't know. I mean, I get that if you're going to sell the stuff, go all in and selling the stuff. But I've never seen the value of any of that stuff. I think that you just get the coin capsules, get yourself some card sleeves, and you're good to go, especially because I can't trust anyone to do the right thing. I mean, this is just going to be so simple just to put into coin capsules later and we're going to play. We don't have to worry about any other stuff being compatible. I do think it's a little strange for them to have created a campaign right away that has new tokens. That's something that we didn't get in Chapter 1 until Innsmouth, which was, what, 6-something campaigns in? So, not to say they can't do that. I don't want to step on the designer's feet on this one, but it is a little strange to immediately do this. And something got lost in communication where either Game Genic was unwilling or didn't know that this was happening. But also it's kind of weird, like you have to buy a small package of these acrylic tokens for, I don't know how much it would cost. It would be kind of absurd even if it's like $10. I think it's kind of silly. Anyway, that's about that. I've never had those tokens. I don't like them. I don't like paying money for them. I think you can just get some cheap plastic capsules and you're fine. Okay, not much in here, right? Got 3 scenarios. They're all in here. I guess we've gotten rid of plastic in the last few expansions now, which is nice. Don't have to unwrap anything like that. And then these are maybe some treacheries that are shared. And then these are some dividers. This is a nice little box here. This is, so the question, of course, is this a little wider than the one in the core set? And I think so. I think the sleeve cards will fit better in here, but I guess I can verify that in a second. I think this is the first scenario, River of Blood. Don't need to look at it too much, but let's just try to put a sleeve on this and see what happens. These are just Dragon Shield sleeves. Yeah, this is much better than the core. The core, it was just too cramped in here for fitting anything that's sleeved. This is perfectly fine. Great. I'm also curious about the dividers. The dividers in the core also were a little, you had to smush them. I know that was the point, but I didn't like smushing them. This looks a little deeper too. Like when we put the cover back on here. Yeah, this is a much better design box. This is much, much better. And maybe that's why, I mean, I showed you before, right, with the core set, that this is notably taller. This is taller, so that's probably why. I got the box size right this time. Okay, that's good. That is good news. I probably should open this back up now. I'm going to start sleeving these cards, not on camera here. I'm going to be playing this later, which is really exciting. I mean, it's a new campaign. Even if it's 3 scenarios, it's cool too. And there's a lot of encounter sets here. I'm also curious about how many of them are borrowed from the core set. And it's hard for me to tell. I don't remember all of those icons. I think maybe this one. Maybe this one as well. Maybe this one. I don't remember. I wonder if they tell you in the campaign guide about which ones are which. Yeah, they do, the back. From the core set, we've got 4 different, so I was wrong, in all aspects. I think they just want you to use the dividers from the core. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 different core sets. I know people have talked about, can you just use Chapter 1 stuff instead? You can use whatever you want. You can put the Ace of Spades in the encounter deck if you want, but the intended design is with these cards. Are they similar enough to the Chapter 1 counterparts? These Arcane Lock like Locked Door? No. They do totally different things. Granted, you can play it and it's a little different. Cool. You know, things will sort of work, but they are not the same cards. At least this one isn't. The Bat Horrors plus the Aerial Pursuit is not the same thing as the Night Gaunts. Again, it's the same number of enemies and treacheries, but they don't do the same thing at all. So you can play with whatever you want. You can, you know, play poker instead if you'd like. Okay. I'd also said that I would like to show you the Carolyn Fern deck that I'm going to be playing, because there's not much more to say about what's in this box, so let me do that real quick. Okay, so let me go through Carolyn Fern a bit, then afterwards we can actually start looking at the campaign guide for anything that might be a bit spoilery. But pre-spoilers, let's just take a look at what I'm planning on bringing to this campaign. And who knows if it's any good. I really don't know if her shtick of healing horror is going to be necessary or good, but I thought it might be worth playing, of course, just Chapter 2 stuff in a Chapter 2 campaign to get that sort of initial feel of what the campaign is like for new players and just for the design intention. So Carolyn, after you heal one or more horror from an investigator or ally asset, discover a clue at your location. Tesla Sleep, very cool, very strong. I think the stat line is bonkers. Everything about her is really good, except for the fact that she only gets seeker cards. She has a treachery weakness, which makes her get basically 4 more clues. And yeah, so you don't get those 4 clues. You put horror on here. When you have 4 horror on it, this gets discarded. If you don't do that by the end of the scenario, you earn 2 fewer experience. Experimental Psychology is her signature. This is a book, and if you test Intellect 2, which is pretty easy, you're up 3 already, you get to do the heal, you get a clue, and then you can exhaust this as well, and that investigator gets +2 for their next skill test this round. Strong. All right, the rest of this is not in any given order, so it's just 2 ofs of a bunch of stuff. I have not rolled the random basic weakness yet, so that sleeve is there. 2 copies of eCash, 2 copies of Private Practice. This is after you heal 1 or more horror, get a resource. Gather Intel, 2 copies. When an enemy enters, draw some cards. I like drawing cards. More Healing, Occult Records. This is a book that has a free triggered ability to heal 2 horror from investigator, but if you fail this willpower test, you discard a card at random. Probably worth it. Dreamer's Chronicle, I've played this card before. It is crazy, and I think it's probably really good in Carolyn. I mean, it's obviously made for her. What I'm talking about. You get the extra clue if you want to take a horror, and then you can get extra clues for the horror you had on you. I'm going to put local map in here just because I don't know the scenarios, and maybe some movement is worth it. It's a lot of hand slot items here. So right here you can see University Archivist. I don't love this card. I don't think it's particularly strong, and especially with only 3 scenarios. She's gonna, I mean, Dorothy's in this deck too. She just clogs up the ally slot for giving you the extra tome. But I think Carolyn's signature reads so good that I want to be able to play it and something else and maybe a 3rd thing in the hand slots. I don't know. We'll see. I was debating between this and the Lab Assistant, which is just a good old card that always works. I think we'll try a card I haven't played before. Dorothy, +1 book. Deduction, you know deduction. Guts, and Perception, and Manual Dexterity, and Literary Analysis. This is for putting a secret back onto a tome. So probably you can kind of think of it as it's almost like deduction, but with 2 icons, because it's going to give me an extra use of the Dreamer's Chronicle or one of the other things. Psychoanalysis, this is 2 cost, choose an investigator at your location and reveal the top 3 cards of their deck. You can either, that investigator draws a card, one of those 3, and shuffles them back, or they heal 2 horror. Now, the rest of this team, by the way, is a Daniela and a Marie. So there's really not a whole lot of evasion going on in those decks. So I'm putting Unflappable in, hoping to upgrade it pretty soon. No idea how much XP is in this campaign, of course. So I don't have an upgrade path. I don't really know what I need. I think that level 0 Carolyn is probably pretty good. There's not a huge amount of variety in the upgrades. There's the Commune with the Cosmos event. That seems cool. In a 3-player game, I think that's a good call. Upgrade Deductions, Studious. There's not a whole lot of movement going on, but I think there's action compression from the clue discovery, the horror healing, that is perfectly fine. So I think this will be fun. I'm not saying that I need like the strongest deck in a blind play, but sometimes it's good to go with something where you know how it works already. And she's uncomplicated, Carolyn Fern. Okay, let's take a look at this just to see if we glean anything interesting out of the beginning here. Blood tokens. Now, you saw that there were tokens. What do? They are a new type of chaos token. that it means that it's a -1, reveal another token. If the skill test fails, you seal one blood token revealed during this test on the performing investigator, so on their card. And then if you draw more of them, they just have the effect -1, reveal another token. So I guess the idea is that they're trying to not cascade how many you seal. You just seal one. And that's it. So it's like a mini curse. For example, Tommy attacks an enemy with 3 fight, and there are 2 blood tokens in the chaos bag. During the attack, he reveals one, reduces skill value by 1, causes him to reveal an additional token. Next one is a -2, so it's a total of -3. When resolving the effects of the failed test, Tommy must seal the blood token revealed during this test on his investigator card instead of turning to the chaos bag. Okay, so you don't seal it immediately. You do it only if the skill test fails. Okay, that's important. While blood tokens are sealed on an investigator, various encounter card effects will become more dangerous for that investigator, so be careful. And you can only have 3 on any single investigator, no more than 12, because that's all we have. And otherwise, they are symbol tokens, but they don't have any other effect outside of a skill test. They remain in the chaos bag from scenario to scenario. So it's like the frost tokens, not like the bless and curse. And a blood token reference card has been provided. That's cute. I didn't see that immediately. 119. Yeah, here it is. Okay. I could have said a little bit more on that. Hey, the other side is just the art from the box. That's cute. That's cool. Sure. Yeah. So it's the difference really between this and what the campaign guide says is that the additional blood tokens just have the -1. Reveal another token. You only max seal 1 per test. Okay, good enough. Predator, new keyword ability. During the enemy phase, after hunter enemies move and before enemies attack, each ready unengaged enemy with the Predator keyword deals 1 damage to a non-elite enemy at its location with a fight value lower than its own. Okay, so during the enemy phase, if they're unengaged, so we're thinking about aloof enemies probably, or if there's just no investigators at that location, and they deal damage to other enemies. Interesting. Given the choice between multiple other enemies, a predator enemy will deal its damage to the enemy with the lowest remaining health, or tied for lowest. So it reminds me, I've seen it in some custom campaigns, and then also kind of like in the Scarlet Keys where there was the scenario where the enemies were attacking other things, the civilians. But we haven't seen, I don't think, in the official content as much of enemies attacking other enemies other than TCU, I think. Circle Undone, the second scenario, has a bit of that going on. So neat to see that as part of the design. Campaign setup, I am curious if this is just the standard Chaos bag. No cultist token at the beginning. Yep. Looks about normal. Do like the art. They have gone all out in the art for the encounter cards and the campaign, so that's really cool. All right, I'm not going to do much else, although I want to see something here. Yeah, I also read about if you're playing on Expert that you get some extra stuff. Prologue. I thought, yeah, here it is. If you are playing on hard or expert difficulty, each investigator may begin the campaign with 5 bonus experience. I do think this is a good way of getting people interested in playing hard or expert. I don't usually play hard or expert, but I think I will try. There's a little bit more on that here at the bottom with the encounter sets. All right, so we're told here, dead ends, flying terrors in the first scenario are from the core. But if you are playing hard or expert, you don't use these two, Preyed Upon and Vermin. And instead, there's 2 other encounter sets. I don't know if you use these again later on easy or standard, or these are just exclusively hard or expert. Maybe I'll look. But that is cool. This is they're meant to do a little bit more replayability with the 3 scenarios. After I play the campaign a few times, I will come back and tell you if I think that was successful or not. But that is the intention, I think, to give you more reasons to replay. I think there's also like the day or night thing going on where you can choose something about whether or not you're playing at day or night, if that's a difficulty lever or not. 3 or 4 investigators, you get an additional encounter set. That's also cool. So they're experimenting more with what the encounter deck looks like. Okay, let's just see real quick here. If you're playing easy or standard, put each dawn location into play, remove each dusk. Okay, so it's the same thing. I don't think you can control that. I think that is it. Let me see if that's true, because there's this first first night. Okay, so just the next agenda. Okay, so that's not the same thing, but just the locations, I guess, are different. So dawn, you're easy or standard, dusk if it's hard or expert. Again, the card budget here might be frustrating for people who don't want to explore the different difficulty levels. I don't know. I'll come back and think about that after I've tried it all. But I do understand that feels like you're printing a lot of cards that you're not going to use. And is this encouraging enough for people to try hard or expert? I'm going to briefly look to see if... so what was it? It was... No, not Vermin. Vermin was replaced. Okay, there's a couple of different versions of the next scenario too. Okay, I don't want to look at this too much more, but it's good. I mean, I think this will be interesting. Arkham's a fun game to play, so I'm willing to explore this short version of it. Again, I think 4 scenarios and 6 scenarios is a better gameplay experience, I think. So inserting a standalone is maybe the way to go here. I think 3 is just a bit too short. Not enough time to get to know your deck. If you have a rough mulligan, if you have just things don't come together the way you want. First scenario, you're always learning your investigator too. So I don't know if there were other pressures from people on high to say like 3 is what you're going to go for. But personally, I think that 3 is just on the surface too short of a gameplay experience for me. I get that some groups are going to say I can't get together with my group more than 3 times, so this is perfect. But you lose something too, so that's just part of the issue. Okay, I will make a review of this after I've played it a bit. I can't review something when I've played it once through. I'm going to try it in solo. I'm going to try it with my 3-player group, 2-player. I usually don't get to 4-player too often, but maybe I'll get to that before I make a review. But I will do that in the coming weeks, month or so, once I've got a better handle on what this whole product has to offer. Okay, we have actually played the first scenario, so I'm going to give you some very quick thoughts that are not going to be spoilery. I thought it was a very fun scenario. Pretty good opener, not very difficult. I did think that Carolyn Fern is really good. It was nice in 3-player. I could just use her ability for a free clue and then use Dreamer's Chronicle for another 2 clues. And that just clears off a lot of locations very, very quickly. I got pretty lucky, great opening hand, had all the good stuff that I wanted. Occult records, impressive. Her signature, pretty good as well. Had a good time. I think we did well, but I really liked how the scenario was well balanced across all of the different investigators. There was really something for everyone, which leads me to, at least with this first playthrough, it reminded very, very much of a standalone. There was an enormous encounter deck, like 50 cards almost, in just the 3 players. And there was a lot of little things that happened, a lot of good storylines to follow with that scenario. And I think we all felt pretty useful doing various things. And that's probably a sign of good things to come in Chapter 2, where there's a variety of the investigator's roles. And I think that has not just to do with, like in Chapter 1, sometimes the clue getter could just take over. And I didn't find that to be the case. There was a much more of a collaborative element between me getting clues and the other investigators doing other things. And I think with a big map, it was fun. It was a really nice time. Not too difficult, though. It does not rank for me among the openers and all of the campaigns that we've seen so far in terms of like that great stressful feeling. I think we felt like pretty in control of things most of the way. That said, it was fun. Like I said, more like a standalone where you get together and have just a good time with your buddies for maybe a little bit longer than usual. I did find that this scenario was a bit longer than your usual 2-3 agenda scenario. I won't say any more specifics about that, but otherwise quite good. So, haven't played the other two. Of course, one playthrough, as I said earlier in this review, in this preview, is not a review. It's just what happened that one time you played, and it was a good time. So the next two scenarios we'll get to soon. I might play a little bit on my own as well in the meantime, but overall, good. Good. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in a future video.